X-Men 97 continues this week with Lifedeath Part 2. Now, this will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, go to Disney Plus, watch the episode, and then you can check out my thoughts. Oh man, a lot has happened after last week's amazing episode. The aftermath, so to speak. We get Part 2 of the Life-Death arc. That's right, they did the arc with Storm and Forge from the comics. They have to fight this demon in this realm, and Storm has to basically regain her freedom and powers. Meanwhile, we are reintroduced to the Shi'ar from the original series and comics, and we get to see Professor Xavier still alive with his love, Empress Lilandra. And it was cool because we get to see Lilandra's sister, the Shi'ar fighting the Kree, and we get to see Ronan. And yeah, he doesn't get defeated by a dance-off, thank God. It's so much better than that. And we get to see the Shi'ar kind of become reluctant towards Professor Xavier. You know, they're going to get married. They object to that. They think of him as less. Even in this cosmic realm outside of Earth, they see him as something that's less, as a mutant, you know. And I like the confrontation there, seeing Gladiator. That was cool, and it was nice seeing how these two stories kind of overlap, and at first it does feel a bit like a filler, but it's a much needed filler because last week was just traumatic. We need a bit of breathing room, but these stories are so intricately done that it's going to be a brilliant setup for what's to come. I cannot wait for the final 4 episodes coming up. I like the drama with Empress Lilandra and them wanting to wipe Professor Xavier's memory. You know, he's a very special Terran, but they don't see him as that. And there's a lot of conflict there. And he doesn't want to lose memories of Magnus, of Magneto, of the X-Men, so to speak. So he uses his psychic ability to like basically give him a lecture. And it's kind of cool. We get to see him as like a professor explaining like the difference between different species and like coexistence and how it can be messy. Meanwhile, we get to Storm, and she is in like pure goddess mode. I love this version of Storm. Her getting her powers back, the hairstyle, the costume change, like whoa. I got some like real X-Men Evolution vibes there. Like the cartoon from the 90s, X-Men 97 basically goes back to the comics. It does the comics while putting its own spin and kind of like summarizing the different issues into like one episode, and that's what this does. It's part 2 of the Life-Death arc that started with the Motendo episode in episode 4. What gets interesting is the end. After Storm is talking to Forge, she has her powers back. We get to see the attack on Genosha, and she was horrified. And then we get to Professor Xavier, who sees Gambit and just notices that there's an attack. And he's just like, I have to go back to my X-Men. Even if it damns our love affair, he's telling Lilandra, even if they think less of me and proves your sister right, I have to go back to my X-Men. And yeah, that sets up a lot of interesting stuff with Xavier and Storm at a time when they're most needed. And I can't wait to see what happens. We get to see Bolivar Trask on the run. And he's saying it's not him, it wasn't me that did that Sentinel attack in Genosha. And of course, as we all know, at least comic book readers, it's Mr. Sinister. So that's going to be the big bad, and I wonder if the Senator woman is actually Mystique, the blonde woman. Either that or she's working with Sinister, because something bad always happens, and it makes me wonder. But, oh man, after last week, I wanted to see this week's episode, and it did not disappoint. It was different, but it was a much-needed break after last week, and it's going to get heavy in the last couple of episodes, and I cannot wait, because, you know, Sinister and them, they attacked him when they were off guard, but it wasn't all the X-Men. So I want to see Wolverine, Storm, and them get a piece of action, settle a score, so to speak. I absolutely love this show. Another 5 out of 5 A+ episode for me. This was probably up there with like the episode 4, where it's just kind of like a bit of a break. I think my favorites personally have been 2 and 5, and then 1 and 3. They're kind of close together, but overall, this is just an awesome show. And as a 90s kid and an X-Men fan, this show puts a smile on my face. It's worth watching every week. What did you think of today's episode, and are you excited to see the next couple of episodes? I don't know, man. I kind of want to go buy like the toys now at Walmart, the Toy Biz action figures, and read some comics. I'm like in a heavy Marvel Comics X-Men mood after this show, in a good way. And also, I like the alternate intros. I mean, Nightcrawler was pretty cool, but the lack of Gambit after his death really kind of settled in for me, where I'm like, oh shit, he's dead. We'll see if time travel's involved with Cable. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Stay mutant and proud.